Oh, that tastes so good. This is one of the things I miss when well, I don't actually miss it, but because this is my morning espresso. And oftentimes I'll get one of these at Starbucks when I'm out traveling. I'll get a doppio espresso. Or if I were in Budapest, I'd say kérek szépen kicsi katú kávé, or something like that, cave espresso, or something like that. But anyway, start of another day here in beautiful Wimpyville. And just to remind those of you that don't understand, or don't go to Google Maps and look up Wimpyville, okay, Wimpyville, Florida, because it's probably not on Google Maps. But anyway, Wimpyville is what my mother calls. My mother calls people that go to Florida to escape the change of seasons. She calls us wimps, you know. But anyway, so I gave the community that I live in the name Wimpyville. But anyway, enough of that. There's so much on my mind today, you know. I should probably just make this like a whole, 30-minute show or something like that. Maybe and call it the show. But I've got a friend that in one of his things, actually it's the gentleman that took Buddy. He always says, you know what I mean? I mean, he finishes almost every sentence with, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he'll walk outside. He's, I think it's going to be a nice day today. You know what I mean? But anyway, so a lot on my mind today. I went down, and a lot of it relates to a trip that I took down to the VA yesterday to get my allergy shot, and that's really the reason that I came back. I think I've flown back to Wimpyville 3 times now this summer to get an allergy shot, and the next two allergy shots that I'm going to get, they're actually going to ship the little vials over to Martinez, California, in the Bay Area. So I'll be getting my next two allergy shots over on the West Coast. I had to build up to what's called a maintenance phase, where you get one shot every month, and that's what I'll be doing. I'll be getting one shot every month from now on until well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But those of you that watch the news, you probably know what this is. This is a I gotta stop saying this is a EpiPen, and these have been all over the news lately because they went from $100 for a 2 pack a couple years ago up to $900. They went from $100 up to $900, and everybody thinks that it's because of Obamacare, but I don't know if Obama's to blame or not. But it's just ridiculous, that it goes from $100 or $50 an item to $450. So this is my little epinephrine pen. The epinephrine that's actually inside this thing, I think, costs 50 cents. So go figure. But anyway, so I went to get my epinephrine shot, or my allergy shot, yesterday, and I sat down in the waiting room of the VA in Cape Coral, Florida. Really a nice VA facility. You hear a lot of bad things about the VA, but luckily, knock on wood, I have not. I haven't had any really bad experiences with the VA. I've had actually rather good experiences with the VA. So I'm sitting there, and you got to wait 30 minutes, after they give you your shot to see if there's a reaction. And this magazine was there, Forbes, you know, and I started reading it, and I thought, what a great magazine. Now that I guess Forbes, it's a book all about people that have money, and now that I have money, I laugh. My dad always says, "You laugh." I used to laugh. But but now that I have money, maybe I should be reading. Maybe I should be reading Forbes magazine. But the interesting thing about this magazine is it covers individuals. This particular issue covered entrepreneurs. Here's the guy that started a Blue Apron, which I can't figure. I'll have to look into that Blue Apron. It's a what is Blue Apron? Blue Apron is where they send you a meal or something all ready to cook or something like that. But guy that started Blue Apron. This is the woman that started 23andMe, which is, I guess you send in a stool sample and they do your DNA or something like that. This is, I don't know who this guy is. Uh, Another guy. But anyway, so I'm reading through this this magazine about rich people like me, and I came across this article, and it's called Forbes Leaderboard, and it says that this is their first. This is the title is YouTube Millionaires. Our first ever ranking of the richest YouTubers uncovers 13 do-it-yourself filmmakers minting millions by commenting on video games, serving up comedy, blogging about beauty, and even dancing while playing the violin. So I started reading the little bios here of some of the richest YouTubers. So that's what I am. I'm a YouTuber. I started reading the stories, and a lot of people, or some people out there, are quick to criticize me or tell me that these videos that I do are just stupid. And for the most part they are. But a lot of people out there will tell me that this kind of stuff that I'm doing is stupid. And I started reading, how did these people make millions off of YouTube? And there's this woman called Lindsay Sterling, Stirling, Lindsay Sterling. She makes $6 million a year, and she plays the violin and she dances. And then here's another gal, Michelle Phan, Phan, Phan. She's probably Vietnamese. She makes $3 million a year, teaching people how to do makeup. How to put on makeup. And and then there's another woman that's a stand-up comedian and what have you. But the top guy, get a pen and paper ready, okay? I'll wait. Okay, you got the pen and paper? All right. So the top guy on YouTube, he's out of Sweden, and his name is pewdiepie. So PEWDIEPIE, do pie or do what is it? It's hell, pewdiepie, like pew. I think aren't they called pews in a church? PEW, and then die, hopefully later than sooner, and pie, like cherry pie. So PewDiePie is worth $12 million. And I was so curious. I had to see what the hell this YouTuber is. And I went on to YouTube and I typed it in, PewDiePie. And really nice looking guy, if I can say that without people thinking I'm gay. Really a nice looking guy. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, mind you. But anyway, so I went on and I looked, and the guy, as they said in the article, I guess he talks about playing video games. He talks about Pokemon, and he makes 12 million a year. So the next time you're quick to think that you should give me a thumbs down, go on over to PewDiePie, because the guy he makes $12 million a year talking about video games. And as I watched his video, he's got a whole damn studio set up. I mean, he's got a little studio in his house set up, and he's got a little microphone, like he's Rush Limbaugh or something. And and the guy makes $12 million a year. So maybe I'm missing the boat. Maybe I'm on to something. Maybe I should become a full-time YouTuber, you know. And then instead of making half a million a year, I can make 12 million a year doing YouTube videos. But I think there's also a girl on Instagram that makes million. Well, I don't know how much she makes, but she has an Instagram account called "Girl Without a Job" or something like that. But anyway, enough of all that. So the other thing that was on my mind was I was leaving the VA yesterday, and as I was leaving the VA, I got into the elevator, and there's 3 floors in the VA, and I get into the elevator, and as I do, there's this older gentleman there. And he must have been in his late 70s, I would think. Late 70s, maybe even early 80s, I'm not sure. But he's just kind of standing there, and he's got a little hat on. And the hat, I think, was military related, like Navy or something like that. And anyway, I didn't engage him in conversation, which sometimes I'll do when I get into the elevator. But for whatever reason, I didn't want to engage the guy in conversation. I was in a little bit of a hurry to get out. And I pushed the button to close, and down we went. And it stopped at the 2nd floor, and I'm thinking, great, now I gotta wait, to get to the 1st floor. So the door opens up, and there's one of the VA staff standing there, and she kind of pauses before coming in, and she looks down and she motions to this other gentleman that was out of sight to come into the elevator. So this vet, wheels himself into the elevator, kind of a heavy-set guy, probably in his 50s, and he didn't have a leg. He was missing a leg. And he rolls himself into the elevator. And then the VA staffer gets into the elevator and pushes the button, and the door closes. And the guy in the wheelchair looks up to the older guy, and he goes, "How you doing today?" And the older guy goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "How you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm doing pretty good." And I'm thinking, the guy's got one leg and he's doing pretty good. And then the guy in the wheelchair looks up at the other guy, and he says, "Thank you for your service." And the guy said, "Thank you," and he said, "Thank you for your service." And and down they went. I think they asked, when they served or something, but they go down. The door opens at the bottom floor, and the guy in the wheelchair tells the older guy to have a nice day, and the guy steps out, and as he walks away, he said something to the effect of, "I've got leukemia." He said, "They gave me leukemia," or something like that. And he just kind of walked off by himself. And my heart sunk to the floor. My heart, it just sunk to the floor as I watched that old man walk off alone, And it was sad. It was really sad. And it's things like that put life into perspective for me. So when things are going bad for me, or I'm feeling blue, so many times I just think of other people and how much they're suffering, and it just really puts it all into perspective. So anyway, that was the other thing on my mind. Now the other thing on my mind is I had planned such a nice dinner. Mercedes was going to come over. She has to not babysit. She has to parent sit her mom and dad. And her mom and dad I think they're in their 80s. Wonderful people. I've only met them a couple times, and they don't speak English. They go back and forth between Cuba. So I thought, I'd make a really nice dinner. I went to Costco, and I got some nice filet mignon. I was going to make porcini crusted filet mignon for dinner. I was going to have some candles, bring out the fine china, put some Frank Sinatra on Alexa. And then well, Alexa just woke up, but put some Frank Sinatra on Alexa, and make a nice evening, for the four of us. Well, Mercedes comes over last night, and she says, "Oh, Felito's coming." I'm thinking, Felito's coming? And Felito's a wonderful guy. Felito's her nephew. And Felito left Cuba like over a year ago. And I don't know if the word is escape, but he went down through Central America and he walked and hitchhiked and jumped on trains all the way to get to the border. And Felito, bless his heart, he's taught himself enough English to communicate, and he's got a job now making $16 an hour here in the land of opportunity. America is the greatest country ever to grace the face of the earth. So anyway, Felito is coming, and then she said Renee's coming, and I'm thinking, my God, now I've got 5 Cubans for dinner. 5 Cubans for dinner. So what the hell do I make them? So I woke up early this morning, and I've got all my cookbooks all over. Cooks Illustrated, and then I've got my crock-pot thing, and I'm leaning towards making something simple. Like burgundy beef po' boys with dipping sauce, or I don't know, Mediterranean pepper pot, or something like that. So, before I forget, my dear old dad. So I called my dad and I told him that Mercedes and I are going to Buddy's house up in Akron near my dad's for Thanksgiving. Buddy invited us up for Thanksgiving. And I told my dad, I said, we're going to be flying home on the 20, whatever, that Sunday after Thanksgiving. I said, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. And my dad, he's always been talking about coming back down here. And he always says, if I'm invited, if he's invited. But anyway, it's a tough decision for me. How can I say he's not invited? How many of you out there, that don't have your father anymore with you, you would just jump at the chance to spend more time with him? And so my dad, I could hear the voice pick up. I could hear his voice pick up, and he's like, sounds good, sounds good. And, it's a tough decision for me because my dad's health, I don't know, I like to think that my dad's, well, I don't like to think this, but my dad is just, I don't know if hanging by a thread is the right word. I mean, his carotid arteries are essentially blocked. His middle cerebral arteries are closed, and the only blood being supplied to his brain is coming from the artery in the rear of his head. But in my dad's mind, my dad thinks he's going to live forever. My dad thinks he's the Energizer bunny. He thinks it's the Energizer bunny that just keeps going and going and going. And that's wonderful. I mean, my dad has hope that he's going to drive again, despite one of my siblings always telling him, that he's not going to drive again. And I don't know, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so my dad has hope that he's going to drive again. My dad has hope that he's going to meet a special woman. My dad has hope that he's going to come back down to Florida. And hope is such a beautiful thing. And to take hope away from somebody, is something that's it's terrible. You don't want to take hope away from somebody. So I told my dad that if he wanted to come, he could come. So, he's hoping and he's looking forward, to coming back down here. And every morning when he wakes up, now between now and then, he's going to have that on his mind, that he's coming back down to Wimpyville. He's been here now 2 winters, so he is a wimp. He's a big wimp. He's a big wimp that I love. But anyway, so dad is coming back down, And it'll be interesting to see the reaction in the family, because I'm sure there'll probably be those in the family that think that he shouldn't come down. Think that he should stay up north. But that whole thing will be interesting. Anyway, with all that being said, how long have I been talking now? Oh my God, this has been a 20-minute video. All right, so have a great day, and I got to get ready for 5 Cubans for dinner. All right.